Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journey Success Stories podcast. I'm Jennifer Shuffle, your host for today. And today I have with me Robert Woodhull. He is the president of Woodhull LLC. Welcome, Robert.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on and just have a great conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
I do as well. So today we are going to be talking about his business, the journey that he has taken, challenges along the way, and of course, best practices. So if this is your first time to the show, make sure that you like and subscribe because we want you to get notifications every time we have a new drop of a new conversation, just like this one. So, Robert, welcome to the show and thank you so much for being here today. I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Robert Woodhull. I'm the president at Woodhull LLC. Uh, we are a family business going on 75 years in 2025, and we have been in office technology since the beginning. So the first product we sold was called the Sound Scriber. And that was in 1950. And what it was a dictation unit. So you would record your message onto a wax LP in a small box, and then it would cut the recording into it. And then that would be passed off to an assistant or secretary to type up those notes. So we've always been in office technology. 2 years after my grandfather got in that business, SoundScriber went under. And shortly after, he was approached by 3M, who had recently come out with the Thermofax. And that led us into print. That is probably one of our main things we do today is print and document management, devices, support, and service. So I've been at Woodhull 12 years. I started on the delivery truck and have worked through about 6 other roles up into this current position today. So over that time, I've gotten a little taste of everything, worked across all the departments, worked with all the different employees throughout the organization, and must have done something right because
I love it.
I was given the president title at the beginning of the year, and it's added a few gray hairs, but a lot of excitement at the same time. So
Yeah, that's how it happens to the best of us all. It just
yeah.
all becomes gray because of that. So I love it. I love that you really climb through the ranks so you understand each and every position and what it takes to be in each of those positions. So that's a really cool dynamic. So
Thank you.
share with us the business ownership of the organization. What does that look like?
Sure. So for the last 75 years, we've predominantly functioned as a sole proprietorship. So most recently, uh, my mother was CEO and owner. But as we look towards the future and we look towards the landscape and try to understand um, what will give us a competitive advantage, what supports our culture and the people that have helped grown this into what it is today. I believe it was about a month ago, we actually, in a celebration of our 75 years, announced that we are 100% employee owned. So at this point in time, we have 80 some employee owners that has a stake in the business, and that grows over time as we continue to grow and kind of enjoy our success. So the dynamic is unique in that I know not many people go that route. But when we started talking about succession and what the future looked like, we really started considering the whole, the complete whole, the legacy, the responsibility, and would we just be kicking the bucket for an interim and then having to kind of look at this all over again? So we are most definitely excited about this direction and what the future holds, especially with what it offers to the employees.
So 5 years from now,
Yeah.
you've arrived. What does the business look like now?
5 years from now,
Yeah.
boy, I think that there's going to be some heavy components of AI, right? So, especially in the small and medium-sized business, how do we stay relevant and competitive when maybe that person power's hard, right?
Mhm.
Finding people to sit in that desk, learn and spend time, for a decade is hard. And also the compensation piece is hard to stay at, competitive
Right.
salaries and competitive earning structures, uh, while also trying to compete with national providers and Fortune 500 companies is hard. And so there's a there's a great degree of scalability in what we offer, right? The tools and services. And as we look towards the future, obviously AI is a top of mind subject. There's a lot of concerns and fears, but that's exactly where we've always kind of uh, excelled, is that we remove those fears, provide, thought leadership and information to help organizations so that, you know, those kind of heavy lifts aren't as heavy, right? And so 5 years from now, I would say that is a heavy, heavy, heavy component of some of our offering. And either going to be a combination of probably product and also consulting to support kind of those projects and workflows.
Absolutely. So, what do you think might be the number one challenge that'll hold you back from achieving a 5-year goal?
Sure. Well, I think it's usually universal challenges that, there's some similarity across the board. And I think whenever you encounter change, it creates a challenge, right? It's not that change is bad. It's that there can be perceived negatives and fears based on that change, right? It's
Mhm.
um, people like their systems, they like their processes, and sometimes even though we would enhance it, just even the newness of things
Mhm.
and the disruption that organically and inherently comes with that stuff
Yeah.
is a challenge. I always say, as an organization that's been going 75 years, our greatest challenge is understanding where we do need to change and what is fundamental to the core of who we are and how we sustain moving forward, right? Um, I mean, there are things that are timeless, especially in what we offer from a service standpoint. You know, relationships are timeless. Being approachable and accessible is timeless. Accountability might be a rarity, but the value's timeless. But also understanding, okay, processes, structures within software, that's a change. But
Mm.
what it is can we multiply and magnify the output of our current employees without taking on so much overhead, right? Especially we're all employee owners now, so we're all part of this game. So we all have to think about how can we scale um, in a more cost competitive way.
Yeah. So, today you have 80 employees.
80, little over 80, but yeah, we'd
Okay.
hover in there.
So, in 5 years, how many employees you think you would have? And what kind of like revenue, like, let's get a feel for what will the business kind of feel like as far as the wide range of what it'll be.
hmm I think it depends on what different revenue avenues we pursue and kind of what is the model there. Um, you know, I would love I would love to be in that 50 million range in the next 5 to 10 years. Um, but 100 or under in employees, I mean, essentially, we usually in our industry are operating on efficiency standard that's about half to a third the size of some of the
Mhm.
dealers across the United States that are putting up the same revenue numbers.
Yeah.
Um, so I think you have to have great people. and we have to look at what is the makeup of those great people. And
Yes.
so I don't want to turn people away that want to be on the ship or on the train, right? Um,
Right.
but how can I accomplish more with less? So how can I take those individuals and again maximize their output without maybe adding more of those individuals?
Absolutely. And with technology and AI, some of the
Mhm.
things that you already alluded to would also help us become even more efficient and effective than what we are today. So when it comes to people, they're important. However, we could probably work smarter and not harder to achieve all the goals that we really have in mind.
100%. And people are the most important factor in my
Yes.
organization. People
Yes.
are my greatest responsibility.
Mhm.
So I look at it as how can I be better at supporting the people that are here, right? How can I be better at giving that that offering to the improvement of their life? How can I offer generational wealth opportunities to the people that are here, right? So again, I don't look at AI or technology as a people eliminator.
No.
I look at it as an output multiplier of the people I
Yeah.
have today. So
Yes.
if I
Yeah.
don't have to add 5 more for this department, that allows me an ability to maximize my margin, but also pay the 5 that are here, I think a more competitive salary.
Absolutely. And that's a very important piece that we all need to be reminded of. Human intervention still has to happen with AI because you still have to tell it what you wanted to do, what
Yeah.
needs to happen. So, by no means are people going away. It's just help me make the smartest, best, efficient decision that I need to make today to then launch myself and my role, but also my business forward.
Yeah.
So, very well said. So, one of the things that you shared with me the other day, which I, of course, loved, we talked about mindset and your leadership style. Can you share with the audience more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess generally my approach, if I recall right? I mean, um, for me, my mindset is one of service, right? My job is to provide people answers, um, provide people security, backup, and all that stuff, and remove kind of roadblocks, right? Um, my job is to, I think we talked a little bit about the second you're assigned to leadership role is the second you should start working on your out. Because again, if leaders, we aren't delegating and training up the responsibilities and replacements, all we're doing is putting more um, on our plate and also not creating the sustainability and culture and job responsibility, right? So, I mean, if I hold everything close to my chest because I'm the only one that can do it, well, I guess if I'm building a culture where everybody's going to leave, that's okay. But generally, we all want to build a culture where people stay.
Yeah.
And me keeping my IP inside does no benefit to the organization and does not give me an exit strategy of what happens if I'm gone. So I just look at it as we have a responsibility within that succession is to succeed our learned experience. Um,
Absolutely.
and so I have to serve, train, develop, and support, and all those things.
Yes. And it is super important because we love to hire people that are smarter than us because that can really catapult us to a whole nother level that we never even knew was possible. And as business owners, it's so important to surround ourselves with those individuals that not only are going to lift us, but really think long term and into the future.
Yeah.
So I love
And
it.
I'm not the smartest person in the room. Frankly, I don't want to be, but I am more than happy to acknowledge the smart ones and make sure that they're tasked with the responsibility of supporting our customers, right? My job is to facilitate that dialogue and give them the opportunity to solve a problem. But that also starts with the acknowledgement of I need to step back sometimes, if not often. So yeah.
So, as you started to climb the ranks in the organization and you became president,
Mhm.
what was your number one goal in being that president role?
Well, it depends, right? Was the number one goal that I had maybe month two of starting on the delivery truck versus month two of actually being in the role was dynamically different. Uh,
Yeah.
I would say 12 years ago, I looked at problems like a bull in a china shop. So I might have fixed one problem, but broke 15 things on the way.
Yes.
I, and I've also seen the disruption that comes when people are assigned a title and a role,
Mm.
and believe that is a command to dictate will, right, and what they want, which I think it's the latter. I think for me, my priority when I first actually stepped into this role, given my learned experience, was patience and observation.
Mm. Yeah.
So until you take the time to observe what's going on without giving input and trying to cause effect, you really don't know where to start, right? I've always started from we have to see what's functioning on an organic level before we invest time or money. So where's our base, right? What's our floor? What are we doing today? And then also, I have to start by asking the individuals that are running that department or
Mhm.
intimately involved in that process, right? Because we talked about not being the smartest in the room. Who am I to presume a solution without talking to people that are in it daily? And also, if they present that, which they've been thinking about it for years, right? Tell me a person that if you gave them the absolute unfiltered opportunity to say, what would you do differently? And I'm not going to hold you accountable. If it fails or is successful, success, I'll give you credit. Fail, I won't. They all have something they would do differently. So why don't we start by giving them the opportunity? Because I also think that um, there's an ownership play when
Mhm.
someone comes to the conclusion and then we follow through with that action that was based on their idea, right? So
Yeah.
you invested in it from an idea standpoint and from a process standpoint. So yeah, first task when I was actually in it, when I actually was the driver, right? I
Yeah.
think it's like backseat driving. It is easy to make a hell of a lot of suggestions and say, this is right, this is wrong, when you have no responsibility behind the wheel.
Correct.
But when you're
Yeah.
actually behind the wheel and push comes to shove and you are responsible, short term and long term, for the decisions you make, observation and patience is an okay thing.
Love it. So, based off your observations and the things that you have learned along the way, what is the business's number one challenge right now?
Right now, I think it's finding the right people
Mm.
to be in the right roles, right? It's
Yes.
just, again, we talked about old school, new school. I mean, we do have a very heavy in-person, old school mindset.
Mhm.
Um, getting getting younger people, I think it's easier when you get them out of college, but let's say they've been in the workforce 3 years, and then our expectation is to go knock on 30 doors and say hi in person. That's an adjustment. I mean, it's real, it's work, right? It's
Yeah.
real. I mean, not just mental, but there's a physical component to like getting out there and hustling. Um, and video conferencing and emails and phone calls have allowed us to maybe skirt some of those relationship building um, values that we kind of push. So I'd say that's a component. Um, you know, always reinforcing culture
Mm,
and reinforcing like the right things. Luckily,
that's
doing the right thing, we've made it easy here. But
mhm,
culture is it's a lot more sensitive than I think sometimes we think. Um, and whether we like it or not, to to not acknowledge that there were massive priority shifts during and coming out of that pandemic, um,
mhm.
is serves a problem to some that do. But what we're trying to do is acknowledge those and accommodate those things, right?
Yeah.
The same way we talk about this greater value to our customers is the same value I think employees are looking for from their employer, right? Is that
Mm,
it's not just monetary. Do they have flexibility to maybe allow me to do family things? Is there a greater value and purpose for us being there other than just making sure I'm there at 8 and gone by 5, right?
yeah.
Um, you know, are we doing uh, company picnics? Are we trying to incorporate extended family? Are we trying to be those things? And I think you can certainly talk that talk, walking that walk as you add to your employee footprint's a lot more difficult, right?
Mm,
Um,
absolutely.
being flexible at 10 employees is a lot different than being flexible at because it's natural for people to, want something maybe you promised somebody else. So, hey, thanks for letting me out early so I could go to my kid's softball game, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So with the employees being owners, how has this dynamic maybe or maybe not even changed as to culture and some of the other things that you were just talking about?
hmm Um, what I think it's reinforced the culture that's been here, right? And when we even announced it to the employees, there was an acknowledgement that it was an easy decision because of the ownership mentality that they've always taken. But that is because of my mom during, her leadership and ownership of trust and autonomy.
Hmm.
When you believe these people and believe everybody you work with to be the best representation of the
Yeah.
organization and you give them the autonomy to do so, I've seen they do, right? When you lead with love and you try to understand the individuals and understand things are circumstantial and again provide that flexibility, people want to represent that. People want to take pride in those things. So what we did was, in the initial stages of the ESOP announcement was acknowledge the 20 years they've been doing that for, the 25 years they've been doing that for. That's what we did was that we thanked them and looked to move that forward or intensify it, right? Is that um, we wanted to maintain that, but we wanted to give that a little life to it so that it would maintain itself, right?
Right.
Mom
Yeah.
and I will not always be here. So what do we do to instill those things that we've always seen present?
Yes. And she
So
seems like an absolute remarkable individual. And I look forward
she's
to meeting
pretty
her one
impressive.
day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, one of the really cool things is you guys are actually a women owned business
hmm
because of her.
Yes.
And to be as large as you are, and not only multi generational, you guys are beating some amazing odds.
hmm Yeah.
So, how do you guys, or do you ever even recognize or talk about, guys, this is a really amazing organization? because we are really beating some astounding statistics.
We do that. We do that to reinforce kind of the responsibility
Mm,
to support the customer, right? That's the big one.
yeah.
It helps us reinforce the ask, right? I mean, nowadays there's a big component of, are we going, when we task someone or we ask something, are we going in depth as to the why? What is the why component? People want the why. And so that's part of it, is that um, statistically, we are in the top 1% of our industry with regards to service response time, with regards to first time fix rate, definitely on the billing level. Um, and, I think mom avoided going the women ownership WeBank route for so long because it was really merit based, right? But we did understand that there was a competitive advantage, and ultimately it actually allows for greater support, especially in the municipality, state, local government, and nonprofits because of grants they can apply for and things like that, and just general some of the other statistics. But um, we just see it as a one other piece of the total pie of who we are and how we present. Um, but it is a further credit to her and what she's done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. So I have some rapid fire questions. Are you
Cool.
ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, great. So, what is the key to success for you?
Uh, for me, is simple: failure and humility.
Oh, tell me more.
I love failure because there's no quicker response to taking the wrong path, right, than failure. So you're like, okay, well, it's don't go left there.
Yep.
Um, and humility is, we have to remember who we are sometimes at our biggest successes, right? Because um, it's the core of kind of our characteristics and our foundation that get us that success in the first place, right? Uh,
Yes.
so we talked about change. Sometimes we change too fast or we do the wrong change, and that provides failure. But sometimes the reason behind us pushing for those changes is we're not staying humble to who we are and what makes us successful, right? And sometimes it's as simple as hard work and grinding it out, right? I mean, we had a customer meeting last week and they were teasing me about wearing a tie, and I looked at the guy and go, well, my success has not been skill based, so I have to compensate in other ways. That's the, you know, we play the role we're dealt, and we lean into who we are and then look to optimize with others where we're weak. So, no, for me, it's staying honest, and humble, and then being thankful for my failures.
So, this is a very wonderful concept because this is actually the fourth time this has come up today in conversations that I've had.
Cool.
So, maybe I'm exuding this or something. I don't know. But last Thanksgiving, we, as business owners, we were sitting around and talking about our gratitudes and what we're grateful for. And the lady next to me, she said, I'm grateful for the challenges and the failures along the way. And I was like, wow. Because at Thanksgiving, we always talk about our family and the blessings, other blessings that we've had.
Yeah.
But she said, it really helps me become a stronger individual and better business owner because I learn more from my failures than I ever will my successes.
Yeah. I love that.
I was floored. So now I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for the failures. What did I learn today? Because I messed something up.
Yeah. I think
So,
the learning is invaluable, right? I mean, there sometimes is an immediate kind of dollar connection to some of those losses and failures, but again, like the learned lesson compounds that. I mean, the value again is pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's astounding. Okay, so because I asked extra questions, that wasn't so rapid fire, but
Fun.
what is your one piece of advice that you would give to other business owners?
Easier said than done, but I would say a simple one is try to listen more than you talk.
Mm. Yes.
Now that's hard on a podcast when I'm being asked questions, but generally it's that if we don't hear them and respond after hearing them, the message is ineffective regardless, right? And again, like the collaboration kind of goes out the door.
Very true. Yes. All right. What is a book or podcast that you're reading or listening to right now?
Sure. Book, I don't have one top of mind, which generally means probably I should be reading more things. Um, but geez, I find reading emails exhausting, so it's kind of hard to do it on a
Oh,
level.
yeah.
But podcasts with the amount of driving and stuff I do working through Dayton, Cincinnati, and Columbus is a good one, Smartless. It's kind of a comedy interview podcast with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. And it's just, I'm a big lead with laugh kind of guy, like find the humor in the little things and big things.
Yes.
So I find it a nice way to kind of um, reflect and kind of meditate between things and get a few laughs in and just, yeah, have fun with it. We forget that often, right? Like
Yep.
work is work. That's why it's called work. I don't wake up every day and say, hey, I'm going to fun today, going to work. That doesn't mean we can't have fun while at work and
Yeah.
while we're talking about these things. And it also makes it really human, right? To find the humor in things. We work in office technology. People generally fight technology on a day-to-day basis. So we're gonna have a little fun with it too.
Yes. That's important.
Yeah.
And I love that you have something that's not business oriented because we all have to escape
Yeah.
and have our own piece of ourselves. So the humor is something that sings to my soul because I don't do things that aren't fun. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't need a podcast to get my brain working about work or business, right?
correct.
Like either you have the owner mindset or you're just a driven individual that wants success and lots of it.
Yeah.
Um, I've never, not laid in bed thinking about what happened that day or what does 3 years from now look like or 2 months or what if we did this, that, and the other thing. No, realistically, I need, to your point, to take breaks from that sort of thought because unless we take time to step away, sometimes we don't know what to appreciate or we take time to then reapproach it. And in that second approach, we have thoughts we didn't have the first time. Or if we haven't turned off, the brain to those business thoughts. So
Absolutely. All right. So this was an amazing conversation. I have one last question for you, but before I get to that, please share with everyone how can they get a hold of you and to learn more?
sure. So I'm easy, right? I'm on all the different platforms, LinkedIn, very active. So Robert Woodhull. Our website's woodhullusa.com. You can see kind of our Facebook, LinkedIn, um, and other socials through that. But the website's always the best platform to get kind of that initial 50,000 foot overview. Um, and then simply my emails are Woodhull, WOODHULL at woodhullusa.com. But, we just look at it as we're here to help in whatever way we can. Even if we don't maybe support or sell that exact product, after 75 years of being in the marketplace, we certainly can push you in the right direction to someone we trust and would feel confident referring you to. So, it's just that is the evolution of it all, right? Is that how do we build and benefit our communities in our region? And I think if we look at that as business owners, leaders, and again, highly motivated individuals, the opportunity is endless. And
Yes.
we're in markets that make it a lot easier to do that. So, I mean, our states, we're very fortunate that
Yeah.
some people think that it's the best idea to fly over it. Whereas I don't think that. I think that this is an incredible uh, business environment and has been since the beginning, right? And
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of evolutions in different towns up and down 75. So the history is rich, and we owe it to the area in the future to continue that legacy here. So,
Absolutely. So, rapid fire, what is most inspiring to you today?
us becoming an ESOP and the opportunity it presents for the employees.
Well said. That's a nice little mic drop, like at the end. All right. So, this was a great conversation.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Robert. I really enjoyed hearing your story, getting to know you more, and of course, the business.
Yeah,
So,
thank you so much. Again, it's a cool opportunity, and I appreciate the platform. So,
thank you.
yeah.
So, all of you watching, of course, make sure that you save this show because there were great little tidbits that Robert had in his discussion today within his podcast. So, you're going to want to save it, come back to it, rewatch it, but most importantly, like and subscribe so you get notifications when we have other conversations drop just like this one. And Robert, thank you again for joining us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
So thanks everyone for joining us. Have a wonderful day and thank you.